Abundance and gratitude to my brothers and sisters throughout the whole planet as we are one big prokaryotic species. Today we're going to be talking about UVC radiation and how it's considered to be the most damaging type of UV radiation. It's stronger than UVA, stronger than UVB, and this radiation has been ground level since 2015. And this UVC radiation has actually been affecting all life, no matter if you're eukaryotic or prokaryotic, down to the atom molecule of the cell. So that means that your whole anatomy is going to change because that cell later constructs the organism. And right here we got the UV index, which is actually how scientists or these solar physicians are able to detect and record how much solar exposure or sun exposure the planet is getting. And this chart is actually made for the eukaryotic species, everybody outside the so-called black race. The hats, the sunscreen, the sunglasses, it's because their eyes, their photoreceptors, is not able to pull in light or information to produce neuromelanin or condensed sunlight in the brain and to sit in the third ventricle of the brain and then now going to the fourth ventricle and now stimulating the whole body. They're not able to do that. They're not able to biosynthesize the sun. And this is what all governments, planetary governments, have been hiding. You see what I'm saying? The fact that this is all coming down to genetics in the sun. And UVC radiation is just ionizing radiation, charged ionic particles that the sun is letting off. You see what I'm saying? The atoms that the sun is letting off through nuclear fission and fusion. And it says here that it can directly damage DNA, the genetic material that you possess, the melanin that you possess, by causing breaks in the DNA strands. And this can cause to mutation, chromosomal abnormalities, potential cell death. You see what I'm saying? So this is why you see in this eukaryotic species, the nucleus is getting removed. And this is how all the animal genetics is we're able to ask for proteins for cellular structure. That nucleus is getting removed, is getting out of here because the eukaryotic cell organisms are new and they're not conducive to the planet. It says here from 2000 to 2019, an estimated 500,000 of the eukaryotic species died each year from heat waves or ionic particles or UVC radiation. You see what I'm saying? And from 2020 to 2025, it's up to the millions now because it's an extinction level event. And your species or the eukaryotic species, everybody outside the so-called black race, y'all are now experiencing neurological issues, cardiovascular issues, and reproductive issues. Here we have acute body radiation or acute radiation syndrome. And this is when your anatomy is exposed to high levels of radiation over a short period of time. And right now, the whole planet is enveloped with radiation, UVC radiation at that. You see what I'm saying? And that's because the ozone layer is getting peeled back and getting removed. And as that's happening, more radiation is going to come into the planet and envelop the planet and saturate the planet. And now your whole integumentary system can biosynthesize that sun. So it rejects the sun. That's what's happening. And this is what it's called. It's called acute body radiation. And this is what's happening to the eukaryotic species at this very moment. Even Elon Musk, one of y'all pheomelanated counterparts, is saying that Italy and France, which are just Europe, most of Europe and Asia, are going extinct. You see what I'm saying? Y'all are dying more than being born. This is what's happening. An extinction level event is happening to your species. And that's because of the sun. That's not because of no fucking World War III, economics. That's not because of none of that shit. It's because of the sun and your genetic makeup. And y'all are not conducive. You see what I'm saying? And they're letting y'all know slowly and slowly, even more, as more things are getting revealed to the planet, that y'all are not natural to the fucking planet. You see what I'm saying? It's just that simple. And for so-called black people, the prokaryotic species on this planet, we undergo black body radiation. And the reason for that is because our DNA or the genetic material that we possess is neuromelanin, which is condensed sunlight, which is hydrogen, helium, carbon, oxygen, and nitrogen, which is the same thing that the sun is composed of, which is why we can biosynthesize the sun through our integumentary system. And it says your stars behave approximately like a perfect black body, meaning that they absorb all radiation that hits them and emit radiation across the spectrum of wavelengths, depending solely on their temperature. So so-called black people, we emit and absorb radiation at the fullest wavelength. You see what I'm saying? Because we naturally evolve with the solar system. We naturally evolve with the universe.
The only people that actually seem to have been generated by the Earth's own evolution is black people. Those are the only racial types that we have on Earth that you don't...
Like that last clip stated, so-called black people, this planet belongs to us. We genetically and biologically identify with it. This belongs to us. We naturally evolve with it. You see what I'm saying? So why are we allowing a species, the opposite species, the eukaryotic species that is inhabiting multiple of our continents and has conquered multiple of our continents through cellular oppression, through venereal diseases, allowing them to medically and psychologically evaluate us? Why don't we just start asking them, who's the psychiatrist that deemed y'all psychologically and medically sane to evaluate us on all levels and police us on our planet? Where did y'all come from? The earth doesn't know you. She didn't generate you. The sun doesn't know you. You can't biosynthesize it. Where did y'all come from? Who the fuck are y'all? And here it says billions of atoms, of atom bombs. Earth's next solar super flare can knock us back to the dark ages. Who? Who's going back to them dark ages? Who's going back to them caves? Who's going back to being a Neanderthal? Because everything is turning back to its most naturalist form, to most simplest form. And so-called black people, we're turning back into our crystalline form, this most simplest form, which is the sun. Y'all are turning back to what? Y'all are composed of chimpanzee, pig, fruit fly. What is your body turning into? What is your brain formulating into? What are your cells formulating into? Because this UVC radiation is a genetic mutating, detoxifying, and germ killer wavelength. You see what I'm saying? And so-called black people, like I showed you, we absorb all wavelengths. We are natural to the planet. So the sun is removing y'all.